a little over $6 million in the last 12 months, all from digital products. No inventory, no agency, no paid ads to start. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how digital products work in 2026, the 6-step system that I've watched my top students use to start hitting $5,000, $10,000, even over $30,000 a month, and why this is genuinely simpler than most people think. I'm also going to walk you through the exact method that started all this for me. A single conversation that completely changed everything about what I knew about making money online. Because here's the one truth that nobody is saying out loud right now. While everyone is busy chasing AI agents, AI SaaS, new AI models, the real money in 2026 is still being made the same way it was being made back in 2016, through simple digital products. AI just made it dramatically simpler to do. Let me show you what I mean. This is real revenue from real digital products. And what's wild is almost nobody is talking about this correctly online right now. You see videos every day about AI tools and AI agents and building the next AI startup. Those are fine, but the actual money, the money that normal people are quietly making in their spare time in 2026 is still in digital products. AI just made it dramatically easier. So let's get into it. About 8 years ago, I was a broke college student folding burritos at a fast food chain for minimum wage, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 4 other guys because that's genuinely all I could afford, drowning in student debt, and I was trying every single business model I could find on YouTube, probably just like you are right now. I tried dropshipping, lost money. I started an ATM machine, ended up getting robbed. I bought course after course after course. None of it stuck or worked. I was the guy that would watch YouTube videos on how to make money online for 6 hours on a Sunday afternoon, get fired up, try one business model for 2 weeks, and then quit when nothing happened. And if you've ever felt like that, I want you to know that I sat exactly where you're sitting. And then I decided to hire a mentor, a business coach at the time, probably a lot more than I could afford. And one day I'm complaining to him on a Zoom call, telling him how nothing's working. And he just looks at me and says something that I'll never forget. He said, "Richard, why are you trying to invent something new? You already wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. You hit the gym every morning. You get really good grades in school. You read a book a week. People around you are already asking you how you do it. Didn't you tell me that your roommates ask you for advice on how to be more productive? Why don't you just build that into a digital product and sell information on what you already know? How to be productive as a young college student." And it hit me like a brick. I had been spending months trying to invent a business, trying to find some magical niche, trying to figure out what to sell. And this entire time, the product was already in my head. I just couldn't see it because I had been told to look somewhere else. So I went home. I sat down and I built a digital product on productivity, sold it for $500. And in the next 12 months, I sold over 1,000 units of that digital product. $500,000, over a 95% profit margin from one digital product that I built in my dorm room at 21 years old. And that conversation changed everything for me. And it pointed at something that's still true almost a decade later, something almost nobody is talking about correctly online. The hardest part of digital products has never been building them. It's not the marketing, it's not even the tech, not the audience, it's not the funnel, it's the noticing. Most people are walking around right now with the digital product already inside their head, but they don't see it because they keep getting told that the answer is somewhere way more complicated. AI tools, AI agents, AI startups, the latest platform that's getting released, the newest tactic. Listen, the answer isn't more complicated, it's quieter. And it's been the same for the last 10 years. And I'm gonna show you exactly what that looks like right now in 2026. Step 1, pick your niche. And when I say niche, most people completely freeze. They think that they need to discover some hidden market that nobody else has found yet. No, that's completely wrong. You do not need a new niche. You need a niche where 3 things are true. The audience has a problem that they're actively trying to solve right now. Not someday, right now. They already spend money trying to fix it. Books, courses, apps, supplements, gym memberships, anything. And the problem is emotionally loaded. It causes shame, frustration, embarrassment, anxiety, or fear. Boring problems beat exciting problems every single time. Because boring problems are the ones that people are quietly desperate to solve. Will was an Uber Eats driver before he ever sold his own digital product. He had no audience, he had no personal brand. He picked productivity for busy working professionals because he was a busy adult trying to be more productive. He knew the pain point, he knew the language. He knew exactly what people were Googling at 11 p.m. when they felt like the day got wasted. He made $8,000 in 2 weeks selling a simple productivity digital product. He did not pick a clever niche. He picked the most obvious one with his life. That's the play. Matt was working a regular 9-to-5 job. He found it difficult to make friends during the lockdown, and so he picked a niche of how to make friends as an adult. Sounds kind of weird, right? Sounds like nobody would pay for that. Guess what? He sold a digital product for $1,000 a unit and made $7,000 in 30 days. Now, why did this work? Because making friends as an adult is one of the most emotionally loaded problems in modern day life, especially when the hustle and bustle of work culture gets to everyone. Nobody talks about this, but everyone feels this. And the moment somebody offered a real solution, people paid him. Here's a test for whether a niche is right. Ask one question. Are the people in this niche already paying for something trying to solve this problem? If the answer is yes, the niche works. And if they're not paying for anything in that market, walk away. Step 2, find the specific problem. This is where most people completely mess up. They pick a niche, then they try to solve every problem in that niche. That's not how this works. You might be feeling this right now. You've picked a topic, you can name 3 or 4 problems people have in that space, and you don't know which one to focus on. So you try to cover all of them, and the product ends up feeling generic because it is. You need one specific, painful, named problem. Not, I help people be more productive. That's way too vague. Try this. I help busy parents stop losing 2 hours a day to scrolling on the phone. That's specific. So, how do you find a problem this specific? You go where the audience is already talking out loud about their pain. Go to Reddit threads, look up Facebook groups, YouTube comment sections, Amazon book reviews, especially the 1-star reviews, because that's where people complain about what the book did not solve. TikTok comments, Quora, anywhere your audience gathers to complain, ask, or beg for help. And you're looking for patterns. The same problem coming up over and over, phrased 5 different ways by 5 different people. And when you see the same complaint 15 times in a week, you found a problem worth solving. I have a quick test I use. I call it the 5-minute test. Open a notes app, set a timer. For 5 minutes, dump out every problem your audience is dealing with right now. No filtering, no editing, and just writes. When the timer hits, look at the list. Circle the 3 problems written in the most emotional language. The one where people use words like I hate, I can't stand, I'm so tired of, I'm desperate. Those are your candidates. Emotional language is a signal of buying intent. People don't pay to fix problems that they only feel mildly about. They pay to fix problems that are eating them alive. Step 3, validate before you build anything. This is the step that almost everyone skips. It's the reason most people waste months building products that nobody wants. Validation is one question. Will somebody actually pay money for the thing that I'm thinking of selling? There are 2 tests here, the dollar test. Can the person you're trying to help quantify how much this problem is costing them? Not in time, in dollars, or in something with the real dollar equivalent. Missed promotions, lost sleep that hurts their job performance, weight gain that hurts their health, relationship damage. If they can put a real cost on it, they'll pay to fix it. And if they can't, the problem is not real enough. The already paid test. Have they already spent money trying to fix this? Books, apps, courses, coaches, supplements, anything. If they've already opened their wallet on this problem, they'll open it again. If they've never spent $1 on it, that's a red flag. But here's the part where most people miss. Validation isn't done in your head. You have to talk to real humans. Go into the Facebook group, the Reddit thread, the TikTok comments, start conversations. Not selling, just asking. 3 questions for anyone to talk to. What have you already tried to solve this? How much time have you spent? What's the most painful part for you? If 5 people in a row give you specific, emotional, dollar-attached answers, you've validated the problem. If 5 people in a row kind of shrug, then you haven't. Step 4, sell the offer. Ideally, before you build the product. Now here's where I want to be honest with you, because I've watched this play out 1,000 times. There are 2 ways to do this. You can build the product first and then sell it. Or you can sell the offer first and then only build for those who end up paying you. I've seen both ways produce successful students. Both work. But if you want to bulletproof this and never waste a month of your life building something that nobody wants, sell the product first. Here's the difference between somebody who makes it in this game the fastest and somebody who struggles. The person who struggles builds first and then they pray. They spend 3 months on a course trying to perfect it. They design a logo, they build a fancy website for it. They set up some elaborate funnel and then they launch, and then they watch the silence. That's the most common failure pattern I see in this entire industry, and it's almost always 100% avoidable. The fastest operators, they flip it and they do it backwards. They sell the offer first before it doesn't even exist yet, and then they only build when people pay. Here's how this works in practice. You take the specific problem that you validated in step 3. You write 1 page, 1 Instagram post, 1 email. You describe the problem in painful detail. You describe the outcome that you're going to deliver. You give the offer a name. You put a price on it, and then you put that in front of an audience. And if you don't have an audience, text it to 5 people on your phone contact. Email it to 10 people on your email list. That's it. No product, no course, no website with 12 pages. Just 1 clear offer and a clear way to pay. You could literally just use a Stripe or PayPal link. For example, let's say that you validated that busy parents lose 2 hours a day every single day to phone scrolling and they hate themselves for it. Your offer might be the 7-day phone detox for parents, a simple system to cut down your screen time in half without giving up your phone. Delivered as a step-by-step guide on day 1 with daily check-ins for 7 days. $47, $27, doesn't matter. Either one works. You don't pretend the guide already exists. You're honest about the timeline. You put delivery in 7 days on the order confirmation, and then people pay for the outcome, not the file. If you really want to go above and beyond, you could even host a live call on Zoom where you deliver it to them in 7 days on a workshop. And in case you're wondering, this isn't some weird gray area move. Every Kickstarter campaign in history works this way. Every pre-order still works this way. Authors sell books before the book is even finished. Software companies sell access before features ship. You're just doing the same thing on a smaller scale. This is called an MVP, a minimum viable product. This is exactly how Uber was built, how Facebook was built, how Spotify was built. And if 3 people pay you $47 for that offer, then you can build it and get it ready to be delivered. You can use the next step to build it fast as well. And if nobody pays, then just go back to step 2. You find a better problem. You don't waste another second of your life building something that nobody wants. This is the safest possible way to start. And the risk is essentially 0. Now, step 5, build the product with AI the right way. Now we get to the part that everyone thinks is hard. It isn't, but almost everyone uses AI wrong here. So I have to be very specific about this. The biggest mistake that people make with AI in digital products is they use AI to write the product. Type in a Claude or ChatGPT, write me a 10,000 word ebook on productivity. And AI gives back a wall of generic content that sounds like every other ebook on productivity. And then they're shocked when buyers feel ripped off. Here's the reframe. The best operators do not use AI to write the product. They use AI to understand the audience, and that distinction is everything. So let me break it down into the 3 jobs that AI actually does well in product creation. Job 1 is audience research. You take every Reddit thread, every Facebook group post, every comment, every validated conversation that you collected in step 3, and you feed it all into Claude. You ask it to find the patterns. What exact words do people use to describe this problem? What metaphors? What pain points come up most? What solutions have they already tried and rejected, and why? AI is unbelievably good at this. It will surface insights about your audience that you'd miss spending another month on your own. Job 2 is the structure and outline. You tell AI what problem you're solving and what outcome you're delivering, and then you ask it to map the logical sequence. What does someone need to learn first, second, and third in order to get the result on the other side? You're not asking AI to write the content, you're just simply asking it to organize the order. In job 3 is first drafts of connective tissue. Once you have your outline, you write the parts that need real expertise yourself, your judgment, your stories, your specific frameworks, and then you let AI draft the connective sections, definitions, examples, transitions, and summaries. You always rewrite in your own voice afterward. If you use AI this way, you can build a high-quality digital product in a week. Not 3 months, 1 week. Because AI did the research and the structure, and you provided the judgment and the voice. That's how this works in 2026. AI is a research and structure machine, not a writing machine. The moment you internalize that, everything changes. Step 6, deliver the outcome and let the result do the next sale. The last step is delivery. And this is where most people get sloppy because they think that the work ends at the sale. The work ends when you have a happy customer that has gone through your product and is satisfied and sends you more referrals. Your first 10 customers are not customers. They are your case study factory. You give them the product, you over-deliver, you check in with them to make sure that they're absolutely happy and satisfied. And you ask them what worked, what didn't, and what actually moved the needle. And you collect their wins and their testimonials. You ask them to send you a screenshot, send you a voice memo, a video selfie explaining how grateful they are for going through your product. Remember the mentor in my story? He saw a product in my head that I couldn't see. Your job in step 6 is to do the same thing for your customers. Notice the wins that they're not noticing. Name the results that they're getting. Surface the proof that they're sitting on. You become the mentor in their story. And that's how you turn one $97 sale into 100. Because once you have 3 or 4 specific real named results from real customers, you have everything you need to attract the next 100 buyers without ever having to convince anyone. The results will now do the marketing and convincing for you. This is what Priscilla did, a stay-at-home mom. She had 2 kids. She built a product helping faith-based women learn how to make money online with TikTok Shop. And her first few customers got real results, and she showed and marketed those results. And the next 100 customers signed up for her product because the proof was undeniable. And now she's done over $300,000 in lifetime sales. Or Sean, a full-time nurse. He built a product helping people recover from a very specific type of trauma, broken relationships, people that just got out of toxic relationships. The first few clients got amazing results, he showed them, and the next clients begged to sign up because the proof was real. He's done over $250,000 in sales now. These are not gurus. These are normal people working ordinary 9-to-5 jobs, stay-at-home parents, college students who picked a real niche, found a real problem, validated it, and sold the offer first, and then built the product with AI doing the majority of the heavy lifting and delivering an outcome that did the next round of selling for them. So here's what I want you to walk away with. The reason this is simpler than people think isn't because the work is easy. The work is real. You have to talk to people. You have to validate. You have to build something that genuinely delivers. It's simpler because the product is not the hard part. It handles most of what used to be hard. The website isn't the hard part. One tool can build that for you in an hour. The traffic isn't the hard part. You can grow a Faces account from zero. And the selling isn't the hard part. Real results do the selling for you. The hard part is the noticing, picking the right niche, finding the right problem, validating before you build. That's the entire game. And here's the reframe that I want you to take from this video so you never forget. You are not selling a digital product. You're selling a solution to somebody's problem. The PDF, the course, the video, the membership, it doesn't matter what it is you sell. Those are just delivery mechanisms to help someone in pain get the answers that they need. What people actually pay for is the outcome on the other side, the weight loss, the skill, the friendship, the recovery, the income, the peace of mind. The PDF is just the wrapper. And once you see digital products this way, everything gets simpler. You stop trying to write the perfect ebook. You start trying to deliver the actual outcome. And the moment you do that, the product almost builds itself because you finally know exactly what it needs to do. That's why a 9-to-5 worker can make $7,000 in a single month teaching how to make friends with adults. That's why a delivery driver can make $8,000 in 2 weeks. They're not better than you. They just figured out that the digital product isn't the product. The outcome is the product. And if this clicked for you and you want the full system that I've used to do over 30 million in the last few years, I put together a free masterclass right here on YouTube that walks through the entire thing step by step, every framework, every script, every tool, the full playbook, and it's completely free. It's on the screen now, so tap right here. It's also the first link in the description. And if you got value out of this, make sure you hit the subscribe button for more breakdowns just like this one. So tap right here and I'll see you on the masterclass on the other side.